There we go. You got it. Yeah.
Mike Tyson just went from legend to laughingstock, and I'm not even exaggerating. If you haven't heard, he was spotted partying with Jake Paul at Donald Trump's inauguration. Yep, asterisk that asterisk Jake Paul, the same guy Tyson supposedly couldn't stand. Remember when he said,
handle the situation. You gonna knock him out? I think I'm gonna hurt him, yes.
And now, fans like us are left picking up the pieces of our broken trust. These two spent the past year feeding us a fake rivalry, playing with our emotions like master manipulators, only to pull this ridiculous stunt. A clip of Jake lifting Tyson onto his shoulders like a gym buddy. Seriously, it broke the internet for all the wrong reasons. Then Jake had the nerve to tag Tyson as his best friend on Instagram. Spare us. The betrayal runs deep, and the more I think about it, the more their motives reek. Tyson and Paul are officially the scammers of the decade, and we fans are left feeling completely betrayed. Some are claiming the whole thing was rigged, especially since so many people placed huge bets and lost big. What do you get when a boxing legend trades punches with a YouTube troll, only to top it off at a presidential circus hosted by Donald Trump, the century's biggest punchline? That's what having Mike Tyson, Jake Paul, and Trump in the same room feels like. Less of a headline, and more like the setup to a bad joke no one asked for.
Some people claiming that it was rigged because many people bet a lot of money and they lost a lot of money.
Let's break down this fiasco and figure out how Tyson and Paul turned the art of boxing into a bad Netflix comedy. It all started with a so-called boxing match between Tyson, once the most feared man in the ring, and Jake Paul, whose deadliest weapon is his Wi-Fi connection. The stage, at&T Stadium in Dallas, a venue that's hosted real legends, but was reduced to a reality TV backdrop. The outcome, Jake Paul, the human embodiment of a YouTube comment section, somehow walked away with a unanimous decision over Tyson, who spent more time looking bewildered than throwing punches. Totally believable.
And one reason only, and that is the money. He's getting paid so much money to do this. So that tells me he's getting bored. So again, it is sad that someone like Mike Tyson...
I'm going to hurt this young man. Bold words from someone who spent the match getting jabbed by a guy whose career was built on yelling into a camera about pranks. And Jake Paul, he swaggered in promising to knock out Tyson, because apparently delusion is his superpower. The whole thing felt less like a boxing match, and more like two middle school kids bickering in gym class. Except this time, there were millions of dollars on the line.
Jake Paul, Mike Tyson fight.
Interesting.
Script. How so? What do you mean by
It's just
script?
weird. It's just
Like
Mike-
scripted in what way?
no, I don't know. I actually really like Jake Paul. It just seems so. It's odd, bro.
The timing. It's the timing.
I mean,
He
it's
fights
obviously
two-
odd.
No, he fights two no names, beats them both.
Then came the
Tyson.
weigh-in, the peak of absurdity. Paul accidentally stepped on Tyson's foot, earning a slap so weak it looked like it was choreographed by a high school drama club.
I can handle this situation. You gonna knock him out? I think I'm gonna hurt him, yes.
Tyson's iconic death stare made a brief appearance, but it was overshadowed by Paul's profanity-laced meltdown. It felt like watching a toddler throw a tantrum in the middle of Target. By the time the bell rang for the actual fight, it was clear to everyone. This wasn't about boxing. It was about who could deliver the most over-the-top performance in this circus act.
X has spoken. Fight was scripted. Everyone is talking about this on X, and the script was actually leaked on X a few days.
But wait, it gets even worse. After this so-called epic battle, where do these mortal enemies head? To Trump's inauguration party, of course, because nothing says credible athlete like partying at a political rally turned frat party. Tyson and Paul were spotted laughing, clinking glasses, and posing for Instagram like they'd been besties for years. The piece de resistance, a photo of Jake Paul hoisting Tyson onto his shoulders like some victorious gladiator. Tyson, with his fist raised, looked less like a heavyweight champion, and more like a dad trying to hard at a family barbecue. Paul, never one to miss a chance at clout, captioned the shot, "Best friends," and tagged Tyson, because naturally, a scripted fight ends with a new bromance. Nothing says brutal rivalry quite like playing frat bros at a DC shindig. Honestly, it's almost impressive how fast they went from "I hate you" to "let's hang out." The bad blood was about as real as Paul's boxing credentials. Here's where it really stings. The fans, bless their hopeful hearts, actually bought into this charade. They believed the trash talk, the fake animosity, the scripted drama, and what did they get in return? Two millionaires laughing all the way to the bank. People are calling it the heist of the century, but honestly, that feels too kind. Tyson and Paul should be best friends. They just pulled off the ultimate con. They didn't just embarrass themselves, they outright spat in the face of boxing's integrity.
Angry little elf. Mike Tyson, I thought that was a cute slap, buddy, but tomorrow you're getting knocked the out. I'm up, Hey, locked up. It's personal now. It's personal now.
$60 million. That's how much this so-called Netflix boxing spectacle brought in, now infamously dubbed the $60 million heist. And honestly, calling it a heist almost feels like an understatement. Jake Paul, humanity's least asked for experiment in boxing, walked away with a staggering $40 million. Meanwhile, Mike Tyson, the once unstoppable juggernaut of the heavyweight division, had to settle for a mere $20 million. $60 million for what was essentially a glorified sparring session disguised as a legitimate sporting event. Fans are calling it the heist of the century, and for once, the internet got it absolutely right.
And it's just an honor to be able to fight him.
Tyson
And he's
and Paul
obviously the
didn't just sell
toughest,
tickets.
baddest man
They
on the
sold
planet,
a
so
dream.
it was
Tyson's
really
larger-than-life
tough, like I
reputation.
expected it to
Paul's
be.
gift for stirring up internet drama fused into a marketing monstrosity that could have convinced a polar bear to buy ice. Fans flocked to their screens expecting blood, sweat, and the sweet satisfaction of Tyson teaching Paul a lesson. What they got instead was a bizarre mix of WWE theatrics and YouTube drama, with just enough boxing sprinkled in to technically call it a fight. And the backlash. It was glorious. Social media exploded with fans, who felt like they'd been pickpocketed while smiling for the cameras. Comments like, "They played us for millions," and "Rigged fight equals money and friendship," were the tame ones. Even the folks who illegally streamed the fight, yes, the ones who didn't spend a dime, felt scammed. When the freeloaders are mad, you know you've reached a whole new level of con artistry. But don't worry, Jake Paul's glorified PR team, MVP Promotions, had damage control ready. They released a statement saying that rigging a professional boxing match is a federal crime. Oh, great. Because reminding everyone that rigging is illegal totally proves you didn't do it. That's like saying, I can't be a thief. Stealing is against the law.
Of Jake Paul, the boxer.
He's a very good fighter.
Do you think he deserves respect from the public?
Absolutely.
Hey, that was a good slap. I like that.
$60 million.
It's such an honor. Let's give it up for Mike. Jake Paul shouts, as if Tyson needed any validation. He's a legend, the greatest to ever do it. And if you thought Jake Paul was going to take his ill-gotten millions and quietly fade into obscurity, think again. The guy is already plotting his next circus act. He's got a shopping list of opponents that reads like a combat sports hall of fame. Floyd Mayweather Jr., Ryan Garcia, and even UFC powerhouse Alex Pereira. Yes, you heard that right. The guy who just spent 12 rounds dodging punches from a 57-year-old believes he's ready for the big leagues. Honestly, the audacity is impressive. Someone hand this man a trophy for the most delusional athlete of the decade.
I'm just fighting to take care of my bills, basically. I don't have the stomach for this kind of no more. I'm more conscious of my children and those guys looking at my parents. I don't have that ferocity. I'm not an animal anymore.
Does that mean we won't see you fight again?
Let's not ignore the sheer comedic genius of Paul's antics. This is the same guy who turned stepping on Tyson's foot into a viral moment. The same guy who slapped a boxing legend like he was auditioning for a soap opera. Who knows? Maybe next he'll challenge a bear to a fight, or take on a squirrel in a backyard brawl. Jake Paul doesn't do boxing, he does performance art. It's a circus, and we're all complicit in buying tickets to the freak show.
Mike Tyson, it's such an honor. Let's give it up for Mike, bro. He's a legend. He's the greatest to ever do it.
And then there's Mike Tyson. Oh, Mike, the baddest man on the planet, has officially completed his transformation into a walking punchline. This is the same guy who once struck fear into the hearts of every heavyweight alive, now reduced to playing sidekick to Jake Paul. From biting ears to cashing checks for rigged fights, Tyson's career arc has gone from legendary to laughable, capped off by a buddy-buddy moment with Paul at a party after their so-called fight. That's the final nail in the coffin of his credibility. If this was supposed to be his comeback, it's time to bow out gracefully, or at least delete Instagram. So, here's the big question. Was it worth it? Was $60 million enough to justify turning boxing into a meme for Tyson and Paul? The answer is clearly yes for them. But let's just say it'll take more than a legal disclaimer to wipe away the taste of this scam. This wasn't a fight. It was a financial mugging with a referee. Tyson and Paul weren't opponents. They were partners in crime. The only people who got knocked out were the ones who believed this was ever about boxing. Imagine being a diehard Tyson fan, tuning in to see the legend reclaim some glory, only to watch him get outmaneuvered by a guy whose biggest achievement is convincing people he can fight. And let's not forget Paul's fans, those who actually believe this guy is revolutionizing the sport. News flash, he's not. He's just turning it into another cash grab, complete with Instagram captions and viral sound bites.
There we go, you got it. Yeah.